Trying to make a play on the ball and get the block. But yeah, I mean, it happens.
The basketball play.
Yeah. Do you feel like that was the appropriate call or?
It's a basketball play. I can't control the refs. They affected the game obviously a lot tonight. I think we went up really strong a lot of times and we didn't get a lot of calls. And going back and looking at the film, I've seen a lot of calls that weren't made. I guess some people got a special whistle.
All right, Bree, your reaction.
I have no problem with them calling it flagrant because of the way it looked.
Yeah.
She did smack her upside the head, not purposely, but and in this era of concussions, we're worried about that. I get it.
It's a flagrant in the NBA, too.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And I see these commentators, the WNBA is physical, y'all. It's the same thing in the NBA. They would have called it flagrant. Now, do I actually think it was a flagrant one? I don't. By the definition of, we got the definition right here. If contact committed against a player with or without the ball is interpreted to be unnecessary. Now, I think of that. What's unnecessary is something that doesn't come in the course of playing basketball, like a basketball play or a non-basketball play, like the last time they played them when Carter bumped her. This, I really believe, and I watched it from several angles. I know she wound up. But I think Reese was going for the block. Like, her eyes were totally on the ball, not on Clark. If she was trying to hit Clark in the head, I think she would have been looking at her. And she's looking at the ball and obviously hits her. So I don't deem that I'm trying to make a basketball play. I think it was accidental contact.
I think there could be
hard
accidental
foul.
flagrants.
And so, okay, that's.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm going for a block, but I hit you in the head. And so.
Okay, that's the case. But I don't think she did it purposely.
I agree.
Or was trying to hurt her.
Yeah, no, so I agree. And listen, we're gonna try Wilds to go somewhere seemingly no one's gone before.
It's impossible.
We're gonna talk about the basketball aspect of this, while the worst actors in the world try to turn this into the opening salvo in some race war that we're gonna be having over the next 18 months. Here's the deal. Angel doesn't like Caitlin. There's a real rivalry, and it's great for the sport. And Angel is, blaming the refs, blaming the media a little bit because Caitlin has been getting the better of her lately. And if we show Hubs, if we can flip around the order, Caitlin versus Angel this year, fact of the matter is this. These two young ladies who are the two most famous players in the league right now, not the two best, are also the two best rookies.
Yep.
They are both holding up their end of the basketball bargain of this. The other basketball piece of it that I think is noteworthy is, for the first time all year, if the playoffs started today, the Fever are in it. Because it's a 12-team league, 8 make it. So you got it. So what happened? What changed? Well, Aaliyah Boston, who was the #1 pick for the Fever a year ago, after being brutal for the first 5 games, got going. And since then, they're 5-5, and she's averaging 14 and 9. What else happened? They stopped playing every night, it seemed. And since that moment, they've won 3 of 4. And Caitlin, after shooting 36 and 29 splits, is now shooting 47 and 42. And so,
which is huge for the WNBA.
Huge.
Like their shooting percentage is lower.
Exactly
lower
right. And so here's the other aspect, again, that people seem to not want to accept. Both of these things are true. The WNBA is a physical league, and Caitlin Clark is not, the amount of fouling or hazing or whatever she's dealing with is not outside of the bounds of all of WNBA history. There's just more eyes on it. Another thing that's true is this. She's been excellent. And people that are trying to act like she is a media creation, here is the full list of players in the top 25 this year in points, rebounds, and assists. It is 6 established stars in Caitlin Clark. Here is the full list of players averaging 15, 5, and 5. It's 2 players, both #1 overall picks, by the way, in the history of the league. And now, with the Fever not playing any more back-to-backs, they get the Mystics, the worst team in the league, as their next game, being rested, with Caitlin not being on the Olympic team. They're going to be in the postseason. We'll see if Angel's team is. I think that would be great. But this is a real rivalry that is great for the sport because it also has what people have begged the NBA to have, some dislike. Everyone's too buddy-buddy in the NBA. I don't think Angel likes Caitlin for the attention, whether it's Caitlin's fault or not, and I don't think Caitlin likes getting hit in the head. So I think it's good for the league what's happening here, and I don't think it has to be deeper than that.
And I think if you're right and they make the playoffs and Caitlin, as we both kind of said, second half of the season, she's going to be great.
Yeah.
If that's the case, that's going to make her omission on the Olympic team look even worse.
Next game, they match up, not the next game, but Fever
Sunday
in Chicago
night.
on Sunday.
Yeah.
All right.
Absurd.
Love your enthusiasm.
This guy.
Well, hi, everyone.
Why is the music still playing?
It's a great day on First Things First as we prepare to just relax a little bit. Act like gentlemen as we prepare for Game 5 of the NBA Finals. It's not Celtics in 6, and it's not a Celtics sweep. It's a gentleman's sweep. Stay with us. No hands. Today, why one person here thinks Luka can win the Finals MVP.
What?
Even if he loses.
What?
What would valuable mean then? Meanwhile, after a 15-point performance, are we going to finally see a good Tatum game tonight? I hope so. And lastly, no show at minicamp. The latest report/speculation has Aaron Rodgers perhaps
Kicking it.
Doing drugs. That's the answer.
in the jungle.
Doing drugs.
Guns N' Roses.
Is it different when you do it there than if you do it in
100%.
Yeah. It is.
Yes. If you're in like a beautiful
Well,
place.
in terms of what's legal and illegal.
Yeah, of course.
But in terms of reality?
Alongside Chris Broussard, I'm Kevin Wildes. I'll be coming in and out of gentleman mode as the show progresses, so stay with us. Nick, do you have any takes, or do you want to tickle the ivories a little bit?
I feel like this first 90 seconds is a nadir of our television.
Wow, I do like the large vocabulary. True gentlemen. But we're going to start with the Dallas blowout on Friday.
Tell me, please, what nadir means.
Low point, Brew, low point. You're an English major. Come on.
Mavs win Game 4 by 38. We're up at 1 point by 48. Celtics mustered a measly 35 points at halftime. Luka had 29 in 32 minutes. Here he is after the game.
And it doesn't change anything. Like I said at the beginning of the series, it's first to four. And we're going to believe till the end. So we just got to keep going. I have big belief in this team that we can do it. So we just got to keep believing.
Okay. What's the number one reason the Mavs blew out the Celtics, bro?
Well, look, Luka was played really well, including defensively. You know, you saw him more effort on that end. He obviously wasn't engaging with the refs as much. So Luka was very good. Kyrie was very good. And some of the role players, Derek Lively played great, right? He had 10 rebounds in the first half.
Yeah.
The Maverick or the Celtics as a total team had 13.
And
at halftime.
Lively had 10 rebounds in the second half of Game 3.
Yeah.
So he had
he's
20
right.
rebounds over a four-quarter stretch.
in a game, essentially, right. But that 13 to 10 rebounding advantage for the Mavericks in the first half, or for the Celtics in the first half, that Celtics over Lively. That brings me to the real answer to your question. Celtics complacency.
There we go.
I mean, look, I'm not saying the Mavericks could not have beaten them if the Celtics are fully engaged, right? But to lose by 38, down by 48, as you said, that obviously is complacency. And Lively's rebounding, I mean, at halftime, it was 29 rebounds for the Mavericks, 13 for the Celtics. Of course, and this has been an even series. Or in the first 3 games, I think the Mavericks had like 5 more rebounds total than the Celtics. So it's virtually even. Rebounding, we know, is largely an effort stat. And so this just shows that human nature, we know that the Celtics like to play with their food anyway, right? They lost to Miami in Game 2, Cleveland in Game 2. And that was one reason I had questions about them winning the whole thing, was that sometimes they just are incredibly absent when they should be present. And this game, I thought, was just a primary example. So while I credit the Mavs for coming out, we saw this with the Lakers beating Denver down 3-0. We saw it with Minnesota coming out, not